everybody. My name is Brandon Jones. I'm the editor-in-chief, voice and founder of GameTrailers.com. And, you know, some weeks you get a lot of really good trailers. Other weeks, not so much. This was a light week. Doesn't mean we didn't get good trailers this week, but I'm really like padding out a full episode of this show. A little light on this week. But hey, that's the week that we got. And what is this show? It is Let's All Go to the Trailers. I'm joined by Mr. Kyle Bossman.
I love trailers.
Regardless of what trailers you get each week, you love them.
I love the good ones, love the bad ones.
Mr. Daniel Bloodworth.
I think this week's trailers, or at least the ones we picked for the show, are good. Maybe it's the ones outside of that maybe didn't make the cut.
And a crazy week, thanks to Bloodborne and all sorts of other stuff happening.
Usually
we try to record this show at the end of the previous week. This is Monday evening.
Yeah.
We're recording this, and then I'm going to
I played Splatoon for 5 hours.
Yeah. It's been an interesting week, which probably means we should jump right into it. So let's do it. I'm assuming this will be the last time we talk about Battlefield Hardline. Battlefield Hardline has been featured in the show quite frequently lately. Then we finally just get a wallop of a trailer, man. I mean, this is the trailer that I really wanted. They did that live action thing that we joked about, which I think was a promo for something else, which is probably unfair that we're making fun of it. But you know, we talk about how hard it is to make trailers and planning that goes into trailer production, and some planning went into this, I tell you.
Yeah.
Like, this ain't something you can just go out and shoot. This is something that takes a long, long time. I'm assuming this was shot in Los Angeles.
Oh, this is absolutely shot in Los Angeles. I recognize almost every location.
This has got to be something that you, like, remember them shooting. Like, if you live downtown, you're like, oh, yeah, I remember that day. I was wondering what they were doing. Is it every day that you block off a bridge and drive motorcycles down, firing assault weapons? And
it's kind of frequent. I remember one time I was going before I had a car. I was just walking around downtown, and I looked up, and like all the signs are in Chinese. Somebody switched signs to Chinese for Mission Impossible movie or something like that.
This trailer is very expensive.
Yes.
Despite the camera quality, despite the image we're seeing, a lot of money was spent on this.
Yeah, I think there's definitely a special rig going on because of the way it zips around and everything.
There's a very special rig that if you go to the Battlefield Hardline website, you can watch this trailer and rotate the camera at 360 degrees at any point in the video.
Oh, okay. Awesome.
So if you want, you can relive this entire sequence and move the camera as you're doing it. So that part where they like zip line, you can look at the guy, you can look ahead, you can look, you know, at any side.
So we're watching the directed experience right now.
A shortened version
of,
whereas if you go and watch the official full version on the website, it is actually supposed to be perceived as one continuous sequence, so you don't get these jumps ahead. Love the little bit of him slipping the money at the end. I'm sure the LAPD wasn't too stoked about that moment.
I kind of feel like we should have watched that, but
watch the full 360 version. Well, there's no way to like really, and that's an interesting point. Is how do you showcase that in this sequence? You get 360 degrees to show like what is quote unquote the right angle to show. But I think that's the 360 degree camera they were using.
The angle with no stagehands.
Right. It explains why the visual quality isn't really up to par with a lot of obviously live action stuff that we see done for video games. I have one major complaint, and that is what are we? What are they carrying? This giant bulky thing.
It's a bag of money, right?
We're the bag of money.
Yeah.
It'd be cool if maybe we weren't. Maybe like the heists people did want to shoot it. It's just kind of weird. It's a bag of money that they're clearly treating like a camera. They're clearly like being really careful. I mean, you would be careful around a bag of money if you were a criminal, but I could have used a little more context about why specifically we are this thing following them around, as opposed to just like, oh, we'll make it a bag of money and then that solves everything. Like, that doesn't really solve it for me. It kind of makes it weird and makes it feel staged. Like, it puts up a wall, whereas if I was to break through that wall, I would actually feel for these guys. I'd actually feel like, oh my god, I'm with them. And we're on, this amazing adventure together, where I feel that, like, oh, they clearly put that bag of money in the perfect spot so that it would get a good angle on what they were doing.
Yeah.
I can almost see it in the actors' eyes, where they're like, okay, I did that one thing before where I shot at the cop car, but I can't mess this part up because I gotta move this money bag into the appropriate camera position, which kills it for me a little bit, where I think if they had set it up a little bit more, where, like, what is this camera? Is this something that maybe, like, the police, like, hid or somehow worked into one of their backpacks that they carry around with them? Really would have just knocked this out of the park. This would have been a spectacle if there was a little more context, which we argue for sometimes, Kyle. you know, whenever I score anything, whether it is a trailer or a game, I always try to tell the creators, yes, do this, or don't do this. And yeah, do this. Do much more of stuff like this. This is great. Obviously, a franchise like Fable or Dragon Age it might not work for, but something futuristic, something modern, something where you can play around with cameras. I just think this is the best trailer I've seen for Battlefield Hardline. This is the coolest thing, I think, sells the fun of their game, and is clearly a spectacle, is clearly something that, oh man, you know, friend of mine, have you seen that Battlefield Hardline trailer? You haven't? Well, you should. And all of the other trailers, while I would score them favorably, is not something where I would, like, you know, get somebody on the phone and, man, you really got to see this thing, because it's a spectacle. I dig it. Should I score it? Do you want to say something?
Score. Give it a score.
I'll give this a 9.2.
Wow.
Brandon, I don't know if I've ever disagreed with you so much on a trailer. This is a 3.
Whoa.
That's fine. It's good.
I'm mad at this trailer.
That's all right.
Mad.
The 3s are reserved for trailers that make me angry. It makes me so mad they spent so much money on a trailer that I think falsely represents the game it's advertising.
Are you talking about the fact that there's not a heist?
Right. I'm right. Like, this is a really cool thing that we're watching, and if the game played out like this, sure. I don't know. You know, I talk about, like, making your game feel like an event, and spending a lot of money on your trailer does accomplish that. To me, it's so irrelevant. It's oh God, it makes me mad. It really makes me mad. I don't know. At this point, I don't want to just see people robbing a bank and shooting cops and, like, rooting for those guys. And I don't want to see a cop pull money and like, I know it's a funny joke, but, like, I don't want to see that. It makes me mangry. So
Mangry?
It makes me so mangry. So that's why it's a 3.
Yeah, I guess I'm in the middle on this one, which is I've given it a 7.7. And I think, yeah, it's like I kind of respect the production of it all. It, like, kind of blows my mind, especially hearing the 360 camera and, like, having to think through how you shoot that without people around. You know, it's like everyone's got to have an earpiece to be directed in any form whatsoever. And then, of course, like, yeah, just seeing everyone, like, running around down the streets, which, again, blocking off streets is not an easy thing to accomplish.
And also the explosions, like, putting those in a thing you can just look at from any angle is crazy.
But well, I mean, they're pretty normal stage explosions. But one of the things that takes me out of it, that thing at the end where the guy jumps on the car and then, like, kind of awkwardly punches through the roof. I'm like, you're not gonna hurt anybody like that. What are you talking about? Haven't these guys been shooting at you the whole time? I don't understand, like, why that was the way you took him down.
It's the shock and awe of him actually landing on the car.
But yeah, and then I kind of had the Kyle Bossman feeling of, like, there's not a heist in this game. Or at least not a bank heist, right? Even though I haven't played it. That's just why I heard you guys yelling.
I think of the zip lines. There's lots of vehicle stuff. I don't know. Seeing the guy get hit by a car while he's firing an assault rifle from the top of the sunroof. It's just like
staging and the stunt work is really, really pretty good.
It's just a bonkers trailer.
And is the 360 camera limited to this resolution? That's the main thing.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
I don't know about that. It seems weird to me.
I mean, maybe not, but when you're, like, on the top of a car driving, you know, at different times of day and the sun's, like, shining right into the lens. I mean, there's just so much variability with, like, where the camera's pointing and what they're doing. It just seemed tough, but you got to get up early in the morning to impress Kyle Bossman. What are you going to do?
Wow.
Welcome, pilot. Begin systems check. Navigation systems online. Rockets online. Engines online.
Got a comment from somebody on Twitter. He said, "Did you see the Eve Valkyrie trailer?"
Good suggestion.
And I had not. There's all sorts of stuff I want to talk about with this awesome trailer. I want to talk about Eve. I want to talk about Valkyrie. I want to talk about VR. I want to talk about just gameplay in general, that you can have one continuous shot in a game. I think that's pretty rare, but we tend to, like, celebrate that when that does happen. First and foremost, I think this is a spectacular way to sell VR. And I didn't even think of that before. It's like, how boring would it be to watch a gameplay session of someone play VR? And a lot of the coverage that I've seen of VR games, it's like, we got to do the picture and the double, you know, so you're seeing the split image because that's actually what you're looking at. It's what your eyes are seeing. That's what the video feed is coming out of the device is showing. Got to show the guy sitting in a chair so you can see the smile on his face and really get the weight of him enjoying that, you know? You really have to identify, like, who is this kind of guy? What does he look like that's playing this game? And I like that they didn't do that. They're like, it's so important for you to really, like, live in this moment. And one of the best cases I've seen for the way you can make a game better. So if I'm playing a first-person shooter, like, I don't really want to play that in VR. I'm really nice. I like sitting on my couch. I like being cozy and just, like, staring at my big screen TV and playing it that way. Space sim? Hell yeah. Being in a cockpit? Yes. Like, I just played the Battle Pod, the new Star Wars arcade game. And the game itself was like, okay, but just the whole immersion of, like, being able to look all around you and see the little, you know, all the little details in the cockpit. And the way that they were forced to integrate the HUD, where you can see your health and your shields and where everything would be. And this, now I have to go back and watch Return of the Jedi, because this completely blew up my whole perception of this, like, massive ship. We have all the big ships and the kind of smaller ships and smaller ships. And just wondering, like, how do you target these things? You know, it's like, 'cause I'm assuming this guy has complete control over where he's flying the ship and where he's moving. I like that they actually call him out one time. She's like, "Where are you going, pilot?" Like, she actually, like, chastises him for, like, you know, stopping to enjoy the scenery. While not technically amazing as a trailer in and of itself, I thought this was a spectacle. I really, really enjoyed every moment of this. And it's not too long. I guess, like, it's about almost 3 minutes, but definitely feels... doesn't feel that long. I was definitely kind of captivated with everything, and I dug it. What do you think, Kyle?
So, you know, I think it's cool. It's a really interesting conversation is, like, this is just raw gameplay, no cuts. Doesn't count as a trailer. I'd say yes. I think it uses music really well, actually. But also, it shows that you can... The stuff we talk about, like choosing your shots and making sure they escalate, that philosophy is still apparent here, even though it's gameplay and even though it's one coherent shot. Everything is still escalating the entire time. And so I think it's really effective at that. It's taken us in.
Oh, man, this ending is real brutal, too.
Yeah.
That's it. You're frozen. There's no walk out and enjoy space and somebody will pick you up. Although that's probably not fair either, right? It's like you wouldn't necessarily freeze immediately. What's interesting to me is just by capturing the motion of the person's head, it makes it feel like, even though you're not in a VR system, like, you get that sense, almost to the sense where it's like, oh, I got a little bit of seasickness happening here.
A little bit. It was definitely a transition. I was a little worried when it first started. And I think maybe the person recording it was aware of that he's like, okay, I don't want to be jerking my head all over the place looking for stuff.
I just wonder
I might not play this the way I actually would. You know, I want to... kind of like the way if someone's watching you play first-person shooter, you tend to, like, move your head and, you know, deliberately to look at things.
It's just such a sense of scale to everything. You know, it just you feel like you're in such a big, gigantic space, and you're a tiny part of it.
That you are a tiny part. I mean, like, what am I gonna add to this battle here? Like, what? I better stick with my squad, otherwise, what am I gonna do with these massive ships flying around? Who's the bad guy? You know, when all the bad guys show up, it's like, well, thank God they're marked, kinda. You know, like the first wave he goes after just totally vanishes in the madness of this. Does this need to tell you what the game is compared to Eve? I mean, like, I don't know if this fits.
I think it's self-explanatory. It's like, the idea to me, you're flying a fighter plane, more or less.
So am I playing with people that are playing Eve in third person? Am I? Does this factor into? Hello, Dust. Was that the Eve?
Dust 514.
Dust 514? Was that Eve? Yeah. Does this factor into that at all? I don't know. Like, I'm sure there have been other trailers for Valkyrie. Maybe not. Maybe this was like the full initial reveal. But maybe would have like a little context about how this ties into the franchise. If this is, because I would also buy that this is potentially a standalone thing. They're like, we eventually want to integrate it into Eve, but for now it's just a standalone thing. Maybe would have liked a little more information. I do enjoy it because it is a standalone shot, with this very ballsy, but at the same time, this is not going to break 9s for me. I think this is an 8.3. It's gorgeous too. Good engine, guys.
Yeah, exactly. So I think this is a 9.3 for me. I think so. This game's appeal, it's an Oculus launch title. Like, they're trying to sell you VR. I think it's a really good idea. the way it's captured. Like, and now to straight out say at the beginning of this trailer, this was captured on a VR headset. And so you get it. It's selling you like you can have this and this it's going to be like this. You know, the character looks to the left and right at the beginning. And just watching the flares go off and you escaping your launch pad, that has a feeling to it. And I think it sells it well. I think it sells the feeling of a first-person game in VR really, really well.
Yeah, I give it an 8, and it's really great to me because I think the thing is, it's like, yeah, you're not cutting, you're not choosing a lot of shots. I mean, you're in the moment, and it's like it's easy to see that as like, it's like, okay, well, just got a clip of a guy playing and call it a day, but they obviously planned out all of those different steps, and coordinated how, you know, that story was going to play out from beginning to end. And I think they did a pretty good job of doing that and letting you, get a good sense of the things that you're going to experience.
So VR developers, this long shot really getting into, you know, showcasing your gameplay works. Do it. I want to see more stuff like this.
Get that gun away from me, psycho! No!
And finally, Life is Strange, which has, believe it or not, dialogue. That, believe it or not, tells a story. Love that, man. And it seems like it's only the Life is Stranges and the Walking Deads and the Game of Throneses and the Tales of the Borderlands that you actually hear what someone's saying, and it's not some quip from Battlefield or Call of Duty that's going to pop up in some cinema and be gone. It's like, oh, I might actually be able to read something out of that. You know, like, I might actually be able to pick up subtle comments that were made in this trailer and glean more from the story, like I would for any of the, the other popular mediums, television and film.
Right.
And I think video games are fascinating. It's why, I am proud to work for GameTrailers.com and not TVTrailers.com or MovieTrailers.com, because I think that art form is not necessarily stagnant, but isn't growing in leaps and bounds like this interactive medium is. And so, on one hand, I really like video games that, like we just talked about, this one shot of this VR thing. That wouldn't work for TV or a movie, but totally works for selling technology. Whereas every now and then get a trailer like this that, for all intents and purposes, this could be an amazing television show. If I saw this was like a Netflix series, I'd be like, I gotta watch that. That's really cool. I like that they do the scenes from the last. You get a real quick pickup, but so if you want to just jump right into this episode and try it out, you can with that information, but it also doesn't spoil the first episode if you want to go back and play it. I thought the trailers for the first part of Life is Strange really played up. I just think I just love it when it's like, wow, dialogue that you wrote for the game that you're using in your trailer. Thanks. It just rarely happens until like right before a game comes out. So I love it.
I think this trailer accomplishes a lot, and that's what I really like about it. Is like you said, catches you up on episode 1, but like not in an annoying way. It's very succinct. Basically tells you as much as possible with as little as possible, and I think it's really smart. And also a couple of really good song selections that I think are unusual and really sell it as a different kind of game, and I think that's pretty interesting actually.
The song selections were actually what was throwing me off on this, and it's good. It starts me off good and it ends good, but there's something in that transition of this really bad thing is about to go down and she's finding her hero moment, and then we kind of like get back into this kind of weird chipper happy music again, and I'm like, wait, but this doesn't feel like a coming of age or like I understand my responsibility and my place in the world as much as just like, it's like we're gonna have a good summer party. It was weird to me, and then like, a little ways into the song, like I got over it and it like made me excited for the game again. But like that middle bit there, moving from one thing to the next, like the narrative and the music didn't really jive to me.
I also commend this series for I think this is the one episode 2 trailer that we've had since episode 1 launched. And when you have a franchise like this where people might not have all the release dates, saved in the back of their mind, if you keep coming out with tiny little trailers, then it's like, I feel that your game is always out, and I won't realize like, nope, it's coming out right now. It's going to be out like tomorrow. And so we'll come out with this launch trailer. It'll give you a little tease where, it'll clue you into what's happening with the story beforehand, what's going to happen in this episode. Jump in now if you want to, but this is your one chance. It's like, oh, I had that reminder. Okay, I'll go jump into the game now because I'll go home tonight after watching the trailer today and talk to my significant other or my friends and be like, oh, I heard Life is Strange coming out tomorrow, and then we go get it. as opposed to just like being oversaturated with stuff. So I think it's smart for them to do episodically just that one trailer. I don't want to give away the same score I'm like in the low 8s. I'm feeling.
I had the same problem this week.
I'm feeling 8.3 on this one.
So I go 8.8. I think you get minus points for a shower scene for like she's like 15. I feel like don't do a shower scene for a 15-year-old.
But they're from France. David Cage does it constantly. Like it's you have to understand. It's just one of those things. It's like she's taking a shower.
Okay, fine. It's a confident 8.8. I'm gonna be okay with the shower scenes. And I really to me my feeling at the end of this trailer was like there's room in this video game space for all the different types of video games, and so that's what the vibe I got from this, which I thought was pretty cool.
Pretty close there. I give it a 7.9, and I like it. I just got hung up on those things. I actually watched this several times because it's like, what is throwing me off here? And like I just decided to like boil it down to that.
It's that tone.
That moment.
It's that tone, baby. That magical tone. You got to be careful. Otherwise, Kyle will give it a 3. Okay, so those are the 3 main trailers we want to focus on for this week. We are also going to talk about just three other trailers, and we're going to watch a trailer that we've never seen before for Void Expanse. Void Expanse. Void. Do you want Void in your game title? Is Void? Void can be bad.
Dark Void.
Dark Void, right?
Yeah.
Good name.
But like Void generally tells me emptiness. You know, maybe not something
it's
you
not
want
a great
put.
word.
And then you back it up with the word expanse, and you just mean, there's a lot of emptiness.
It seems kind of redundant. It seemed like this game would have to do a lot to convince me, which is why I picked it.
Okay.
But again, those launch trailers, those debuts, I love it. So much aggression towards like, you gotta play this game. You stop, play it. So we'll see. We'll see what we think about Void Expanse.
Because it could be like a Helldivers. Oh man,
it's fun. This is my
I'll give you a simple 50-50 bet.
Okay.
Serious or funny? Kyle Bossman.
Serious.
Serious?
serious.
So yeah, if you Void Expanse,
Yeah.
Expanse probably. If it was like The Void, yeah, probably serious. Okay, yeah, I'll go on serious, but if we're all wrong, that'll be really embarrassing. Void Expanse, here we go. There it is. There's the Void. Oh no, there's
Atomic
the
Torch.
That's an Atomic Torch, all right.
Studio slate. Okay, music is very serious already.
Yeah, yeah. Logo reveal is not bad. I like it.
I don't know about that logo.
Yeah, isometric. I was feeling it. Unless this isn't gameplay. Yeah.
Oh, so we got like a twin stick shooter, I guess.
I guess. It's kind of popping and stuff. Oh no.
Why?
Customize your ship, okay.
So normally I like it when you like move your gameplay around, but like there's the clouds and all this I'm not digging.
Yeah.
Like everything's
There's
just everything's moving too much. I kind of want to just see. I can't tell how much of this is the actual game and how much of it is the effects.
Spinning around a lot.
Is that actually Earth that he was flying over?
Factions, okay. This game looks like it's probably being a little too ambitious with some areas.
There's a lot to it.
What do you mean by dominate the galaxy being too ambitious?
Oh man, it's really hard watching this after Eve.
Can you make your Can you make your ship look different, or is that your ship?
I think you can get different ships or customize.
That's just the only ship we've
but
seen, though.
Man, it just looks.
Oh, there we go.
It looks so awkward.
Take on aliens.
Well, okay. That background reminds me of something I played on my 2D6.
And achieve victory.
Okay, I think we're really weighing the
It's-
game right
it's
now, but we need to
yeah.
talk about this trailer. So how do you sell Void Expanse if it's your job?
Apparently, you make things float around in circles.
Hold. They might have something here. Oh.
No, we're done. Round.
Okay, all right. No double tap there. So Brandon, I think that first thing you said about how you don't like the cloudiness is super valid. You never actually get a sense of what the game looks like, despite seeing lots of gameplay. Isn't that weird? I mean, I just feel like there's this weird cloud, but also the particles over everything. And I think, just show your game. Show what your game looks like.
Yeah, because it's like a bubble, right? It's super, yeah. Things are coming in and out of this bubble, so is that bubble in the game, or is it just, I don't know.
I think create your character as the second thing you show us is a dumb idea.
Yeah.
If at all, yeah.
You don't need that for this game.
Design your ship. I wanted to see way more.
Yeah.
And begin your adventure kind of just, obviously.
Always up for a good chat.
Non-linear.
I don't know about that either.
Paths. Yeah, and then they really, we need to see more gameplay before they get into all these other things you can do.
Right.
And I mean, the gameplay's not really selling it, but again, that's the game. We're not really talking about the trailer. I think the orange line on the bottom of the font, I mean, some of these fonts I don't even remember. Like some of this text, like I totally missed that the first time. Dominate the galaxy is a fairly generic statement. Like, what does that mean? You're just spinning around stuff and shooting it. That's pretty much the whole game. So, like, how do you sell spinning around shooting stuff? I guess.
Yeah, well, I think that's part of it too, right? Well, like when you tell me explore the galaxy, and all I see is you like floating over a planet, I'm like, is that a static background? Is there something to find there? Do I go to the planet?
Okay, so I think those might be the good points. Clearly, we have, at least visually, a very visually basic game. So maybe the music shouldn't be as intense and the words shouldn't be as intense.
Right.
Really, really good call. Yeah.
Like maybe you're overselling your game a little bit.
Yeah.
That might be where we're looking.
And I think too, they never even tell you a platform on this.
Yeah, we got PC. I think we see a mouse clicker move around.
I think it also suffers from a problem that a lot of not only independent games, but a lot of games that have like a strict isometric perspective or just have like a really niche thing that they're trying to do will sell themselves like, what do we got? Oh, let me give you a huge list of stuff. And it's like, maybe stop it with the lists. Yeah. Stop it with really just being like, where do I start? It's like, I think what this trailer should have done is really focus on kind of what type of game it wants to be. So like if we really need to see character selection and all that stuff, actually get that out of the way at the very beginning. Because you're not going to like sell me by showing me the 3D stuff. Like the gameplay is not like, oh my god, by the time you finally see the gameplay, it's just blowing my mind. I think really get into, don't say like, oh, you can follow nonlinear things. Like, it's like, oh, that's what I want in every game. It's like, really try to sell me, what is this? What am I doing? Like, yeah, I can follow stuff, but is that what I want to do? Like, explore a galaxy. Like, can I just explore a galaxy? Or like, do I have to join a faction? Like, maybe set up like a plan of attack for me to like approach this game and then end it with just huge montage of footage so I can actually see like, oh, okay, now that I understand how all of those systems work, then you can get into like different ships and different weapons. I'm surprised you only see 2 ships. Like, it just seems like they're like, customize your ship, and we see 2 different ship variants, and like the weapons aren't really blowing my skirt up, so it's just weird. And the smoke and all this stuff around, I wonder, because you're dealing with a game that is based on many layers of animation. Like, I'm assuming there's like the layer that the ships are on, there's the layer of the space behind it, and then there's like maybe some particle effects on top. So there's like 3 layers, and then you're adding graphical trailer layers on top of that, and it just gets really confusing. It just gets really muddy, and it's like, who knows? Maybe the game does look like that, but if it doesn't, it'd be a bad idea to just put like there's weird smoke. It's like, doesn't look like space smoke. That's just like somebody.
Well, I was just looking at the logo at the end.
Like,
the logo at the end too, where like you have all these things coming together and forming the logo and then bursting apart. Like, why is that happening? Yeah, and here it is again.
But there's no amazing CG intro. There's nothing that like like totally sells some other game and then steers you back towards Void Expanse. I think it's like it is for the most part honest about what game it is.
Except we're not sure entirely what game. Like, again, all we really see here is flying around in awkward circles.
The visuals are really muddy, and the game's message to me is really muddy. It's trying to sell me as like, you could do pretty much anything. And it's like, I'd rather you tell me exactly what I should do. Like really tell me like, we made this game for this type of player, and they'll really dig it.
Yeah, because like, again, is this a simple shooter? Like, I mean, you've obviously got all these RPG elements. So you're trying to be like a more basic version of Eve, as we go back to Eve again, but it's like it definitely reminds you of that.
This is definitely a very well-trodden genre. This kind of like isometric space running around blowing stuff up, especially if it's for like mobile phones or just a quick Steam release. 5.8 for me. I've been giving 6s away too liberally. I want to like start dropping those into the 5 era when I'm just not really feeling it.
So we're not. The character we're watching doesn't seem to ever do anything good. I think we see it kill 1 enemy ship the whole trailer, and it's just like, yeah, good job, I guess. Maybe that's the game itself, but I think you could have chosen better shots of it performing better. You have to make your game look fun first and foremost, and I think that's something that's really dropped here. I'll do a 4.7.
I think I'm more in that same ballpark, probably 4.8. I don't feel anything out of this. Like, I just, it's like, ooh, like, kind of cringy. Every shot I see, I don't really want to play this game.
And we got some other awesome trailers to talk about. Bloodborne, man, another week, another awesome Bloodborne trailer. Bloodborne had a great song, "Cut You Down." Do we know who sings this song?
I don't know.
Is this like a popular song that we all knew?
But this thing's been the TV spot, the cut down version, cut down and cut you down. It's been rolling. Like, constantly.
It's the trailer you make. It's the full trailer
Yeah.
of the TV spot, which
So
they should have a name for it, like TV spot full trailer.
But the nice thing about it is, like, the trailer's better than the TV spot. Because the
Yeah.
TV spot spends way too much time on the like high-end CG graphics and all this smoke flying around, and like just show a little more of the game.
Well, that's the major thing I don't like about it is there's like one. It's actually a really cool cut transition, like motion-wise, it works really well. But like I don't understand showing this. Bloodborne is one of the prettiest damn games I have seen this generation, and you're actually making it look bad by showing this incredible like CG representation of like the cleric beast or whatever, like the first guy you fight, you like drops down on the bridge, and then like you go in, it's like, oh, it's gameplay, and it's like, like you're like disappointed with Bloodborne, like what, like, and that's weird to me. Like maybe start your trailer off with the CG. Like I like that he's got his weapon and the big cloud thing, and then you go like through his shoulder, like into gameplay. Then just stay in the game, like don't go back out, and like make me constantly question like what, this PS4 exclusive, does it really look this good? It's like, there's no question, it does look that good. It's an incredible looking game, and I can't believe that they, like, showed CG before one part. It's like, that game model holds up, man. Just go straight to the game model. If you want to focus on the guy, if you want to focus on me as a character to start in CG, great. But, like, having CG representations of enemies that, arguably look better when you see them in the context of the game. Kyle, were you going to jump in on that before I move on?
No, I'm jumping in on this next one.
Oh, yeah,
okay.
baby. Lego Jurassic World gameplay trailer.
Yeah, you didn't get your full thoughts out there before.
No,
Go for it.
My full thoughts are out there. I mean, this is a gameplay choice. I don't like that they're using the voices from the actual movies. You have to use them in your trailer. Like, we're trailer talk now. You have to use those voices in your trailer if they're going to be in the game.
Most are from the first film.
Yeah.
I mean, wisely so, I guess, but that was kind of weird to me that it was like...
I don't think I even saw all three.
This trailer's like 80% Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
12% Jurassic Park 2, and like 8%... Well, no, like 2% Jurassic Park 3, and then the rest Jurassic World.
Yeah.
From what we haven't seen. But like, almost every line you hear. And I think the only line you hear in this trailer from Jurassic Park 2 is from the trailer. Like, I only remember it from Jurassic Park 2 because I remember Ian saying like, oh yeah, it's all great, and then there's the screaming and the yelling. Like, but I thought it was funny. I thought there were some good bits. I didn't like the end bit with the T-Rex falling over. I thought that took way too long.
Falling over twice?
Yeah, I thought that was...
It didn't need to happen.
I thought that took a little too long.
My issue is probably more in the way that the game is titled. Like, find a better title. Like, gameplay trailer, when you show mostly cutscenes, is kind of...
Yeah, I was going to say good use of gameplay, and then I looked at it's called gameplay trailer. Bad use of gameplay for a gameplay trailer.
Right.
But it's kind of, honestly, it's the reveal. We saw a teaser. This was the first...
Yeah.
The official trailer for Lego
and
Jurassic
so
World.
I think good use of that, good mix of cutscenes, and then you finally see the game. And I always like just showing the game.
It's definitely a good trailer for showing the game for the first time.
Yeah.
It's not a good trailer to call it the gameplay trailer.
And I thought an interesting announcement. I guess this deserves its own trailer, but Resident Evil Revelations 2 will be appearing on disc. So you can get it just by yourself. If you don't want to like buy one individual episode, you can get the whole kit and caboodle.
And what a value.
And I'm actually curious to see what you think. They had something pre-order-esque at the end of this trailer, but I thought was good because it's like, oh, okay, this is a special version of Revelations. Well, what am I getting?
Yeah.
And at the end of this trailer, they really detail it for you. So you're getting all the DLC. Here it is. You're getting these extra items. What did you think of that? You thought that was okay?
Yeah, what's weird about it is that like up until this point, it's a very dramatic trailer.
This is my favorite Revelations 2 trailer.
Yeah.
Hands down. This is an awesome trailer.
Right.
I think sets up Barry really well, like makes me curious. I have not yet to play these games and really like grill Huber on like who these characters are, but like through this trailer I'm really curious, like how does Barry end up with this little girl? Like, who is she? Why does he decide to keep her along? And I love the ending. I love Claire's last line where she's like, "Oh, Barry, oh my God," you know, and it's like, whoa, okay, so we know those two characters meet up,
and she's in a hospital,
and maybe that's the ending. Like, who knows? Maybe that's her. Like, so she's really happy. I mean, the end of every Resident Evil is always like, oh, big exhale. I finally made it out. The helicopter landed and I escaped. And I like them hinting at this idea of like even when she did make it out, even when she was reunited with Barry, she had seen too much. You know, she had been through this deeply scarring experience. You know, someone who's already been through so much. Dug it. I just was so surprised. I was like halfway through watching it, I'm like, am I watching a really good Resident Evil trailer?
Yeah, and it is really
ever
good.
since like 5. Like 5, we got like 8 incredible trailers, and then all the RE games since. I'm like, meh. Especially the first Revelations. It's like, what?
Yeah.
You know,
no real good trailers for that one.
I think all the garbage that they have to dump at the end is actually good because this is a disc release of something that's kind of hard to explain. And so I think, you know, sometimes we say we had a lot of questions after a trailer. You don't have any questions about what this actual disc release is, everything that's included. It does cheapen it up, obviously, because it's a really good trailer up to that point. But I think it was a smart decision, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, well, actually, I kind of had a similar thing. Like, I think in this case, like, throwing in all those quotes from the different episode reviews and stuff like that, I mean, I think that helps its case a lot because I think I prejudged this game. I saw, you know, some early preview footage of it and was like, this game looks like bull crap.
Revelations 2, it's like, it doesn't start from a good place.
I still have like the sense of like, this looks like you took the 3DS game and you HD up-resed it and then you just like did more. But you know, Hubert really likes it. A lot of other people apparently like it too, and so I think that is something that kind of a head turner, and I think it's a good choice to put some of that stuff in there.
I think it's also good to go all in. We were talking about Life is Strange earlier. When all 5 episodes of Life is Strange come out, to have one big, if you're going to have some deal or something where it's like, hey, if you didn't check out any of the stuff, if you want it now, it's all together at a discounted price, and then you make a potentially spoilery, just huge, you know, pulling on all the stops, awesome trailer where it says you show all of the best moments, and it's like, oh man, I got to get this. And I thought that's what this was. I thought this wasn't really selling one episode individually or trying to tease anything. It was just like looked at the whole story at large. It was like, what do we want to focus on? Focus on Barry way more than Claire, which I thought was interesting. Claire, right? Not Jill, right? Claire?
Right.
Claire's
yes.
I don't know if I would give it my trailer of the week. You guys are probably thinking Eve, right?
I'm thinking Eve.
Yeah. I'd go for Eve.
I would probably vote for Eve because Battlefield Hardline didn't want me to play Battlefield more, whereas I'm actually really lukewarm about VR as a whole, and this got me pumped.
Okay.
I was like, oh no, I gotta play this.
Yeah.
And again, made me think of things outside of video games in that, boy, I'm glad I don't fly an X-Wing in the Star Wars Rebellion, because that's gotta suck.
You have no chance. You have no chance.
Can you imagine, like, actually seeing the Death Star just come rushing at you, you know? It's like...
Oh yeah, that shot.
Brandon, that's going to be a game we can play
They
someday.
were like...
I'm excited. I'm officially excited for VR.
Hundreds of ships in the width of that beam.
Yeah. And an awesome way to sell VR. So hopefully see more of that. So we're all on the same page for this week. Eve, Valkyrie, Eve with the good trailers every now and then, man.
Yeah.
This game really knows how to sell itself. Curious to see how Valkyrie fits into the whole world of Eve that they've created. Thank you so much, Kyle.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much, Bud. It is 9:17 p.m. Just to put some context for people listening to this. Not usually when we record these, but I will proceed to take this audio file, throw it directly into Adobe Premiere, and cut this episode of Let's All Go to the Trailers. Thank you for listening. We will see you next week.